time will never be perfect. The feeling may never come. If you wait for motivation, you'll stay where you are. I didn't move because I felt ready. I moved because I refused to stay still. Action is not something you wait for. It is something you force. That is how you grow. That is how you win. In this video, you'll learn how to break hesitation, silence fear, and force yourself to take action, no matter what. Let's begin. 1. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation is like the wind. It comes and goes. If you wait for it, you may wait forever. I did not train only when I felt inspired. I trained because I made a choice. Discipline is stronger than motivation. If you rely on feelings to move, your progress will be weak and uncertain. There were days I didn't feel like pushing forward, but I moved anyway. Not because I was excited, but because I was committed. A true warrior does not wait for the perfect moment. He creates it. Every time you act without waiting, you build something powerful inside. Momentum. The mind will try to trick you. It will say, let's wait, or not now. But that's the voice of hesitation, not truth. The moment you ignore that voice and take even one small step, you take control. That first step leads to the next. Action fuels energy. Action builds confidence. So don't sit and wait for motivation. Create it. Move your body. Move your mind. Show up. Every time you choose action over comfort, you become stronger. Not just physically, but mentally. That is how warriors are made, not through feeling, but through action. Second, discipline over emotions. Emotions are natural, but they are not meant to lead. A man ruled by emotion is unpredictable, easily shaken, and often defeated by his own reactions. Discipline is the tool that keeps the mind steady when emotions try to pull you in every direction. I didn't train only when I felt good. I trained because I made a decision to grow, no matter how I felt. There will be days when your mind says stop, days when fear, doubt, or frustration whisper in your ear. If you listen, you'll give up. But if you've built discipline, you move anyway. That's the power of discipline. It gives you control when your emotions try to take it away. Discipline does not ignore emotions. It simply chooses action over reaction. When you're tired, you still show up. When you're afraid, you still step forward. That's discipline. It's not about being robotic. It's about being responsible. Responsible for your time, your energy, your purpose. Emotions change every day, but your goals remain. Discipline keeps your path straight when your feelings try to push you off course. People often say, follow your heart, but I say, lead your heart with discipline. Emotion can inspire, but it can also mislead. When you are grounded in self-control, your emotions serve you. They don't rule you. You can feel deeply and still act with clarity. That is strength. That is mastery. A disciplined man is not cold. He is focused. He does not deny emotion. He channels it. He turns pain into fuel. He turns anger into power. He turns fear into forward motion. And when you train yourself to act with discipline, no matter the storm inside, you become unstoppable. That is the path of the warrior. 3. Start small, but start now. Too many people wait for the big moment to begin. They dream of perfect plans and perfect timing. But life doesn't reward perfection. It rewards movement. You don't need a huge step to start. You only need one small, clear action. Something real, something now. Waiting wastes time. Starting builds momentum. I did not master martial arts in one day. I began with one punch, one kick, over and over. What seemed small in the moment became powerful over time. That is how greatness is built. Not from one explosion of effort, but from consistent drops of action. Small steps, repeated daily, will take you further than one big step you never take. The mind often tells you to wait until everything is in place. But this is a trick. Perfection is an illusion. There will always be something missing, something unclear. Start anyway. A small move forward is more powerful than a perfect plan that stays on paper. Clarity comes through motion, not just thought. Every time you act, even in a small way, you are building strength. One focused move leads to the next. Each step builds confidence. Each effort sharpens discipline. What begins as a small effort becomes a habit. And what becomes a habit becomes who you are. Action turns intention into identity. Many never begin because they fear the beginning is not enough. But what matters is that you begin at all. Even a tiny change, waking up earlier, doing one push-up, writing one sentence, can spark a chain reaction that transforms your life. The size of the start doesn't matter. The start itself is everything. So don't wait for perfect. Don't wait to feel ready. Start with what you have. Start with where you are. Begin small, but begin now. Because once you are in motion, you are no longer stuck. You are no longer thinking about change. You are living it. That is how all mastery begins. 4. Break the pattern of hesitation. Hesitation is the silent killer of progress. It feels harmless in the moment, but every time you pause when you should move, you strengthen fear. You train your mind to wait, to overthink, to freeze. If you want to grow, you must break that pattern. You must train yourself to move, now. The mind loves comfort. It will create 1,000 reasons to delay. I need more time. What if I fail? Tomorrow will be better. But these are just traps. Every time you hesitate, you feed doubt. And the more doubt you feed, the harder it becomes to act. The only way to defeat hesitation is with decision. Action breaks fear. Not thought, not talk, not planning, action. The moment you feel hesitation rise, respond with movement. Take one step, no matter how small. That step is a signal to your mind. I am in control. And the more you do it, the faster that signal becomes your default. Hesitation grows stronger in silence. The longer you wait, the louder your inner critic becomes. You begin to imagine everything that could go wrong. You play out failure before you even begin. But action silences the noise. It cuts through the fear. It proves the stories in your head wrong. When I trained, I didn't stop to wonder if I was ready. I didn't ask for permission. I moved. I struck. I learned through doing. That mindset didn't come naturally. It came through discipline. I built a habit of responding fast, not perfectly. That habit made me sharp. It kept me from freezing when it mattered most. Speed is not about rushing, it's about clarity. When you know what must be done, do it. Don't delay. Don't rehearse it in your mind 100 times. Do it once in real life, and you'll gain more than 1,000 imagined attempts. Action teaches you more than hesitation ever will. Every moment you hesitate, you hand your power over to fear. Every moment you move, you take that power back. And once you do it enough, you build a new pattern. One of courage, of movement, of confidence. That is how warriors train. That is how warriors win. So the next time you feel hesitation rise, don't think, act. Don't wait, move, break the pattern. Show your mind who is in charge. The more you act in the face of resistance, the more unstoppable you become. And that is how hesitation loses its grip on you forever. 5. Make it a daily practice. Greatness is not built in one day. It is built daily. What you do once in a while does not shape you. What you do every day does. I did not become who I was through one hard workout or one perfect moment. I became who I was through constant, disciplined practice, one day at a time. Consistency is what turns effort into excellence. Even when the progress feels small, Even when the results are not visible, the work is building you. You are forming habits, sharpening focus, and strengthening your will. Success does not come from intensity. It comes from repetition. A daily practice trains your mind to show up, no matter how you feel. You begin to move without needing motivation. You begin to work without needing reward. The action becomes part of who you are, not just something you do. That's when your identity starts to shift, from dreamer to doer, from ordinary to disciplined. When I trained, I did not wait for energy or excitement. I followed a rhythm, a routine. My body knew when it was time to move. My mind knew when it was time to focus. That rhythm became my strength. That daily repetition created stability, even during chaos. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a repeated action. A small routine done with intention is more powerful than a big plan never executed. Choose a time, choose an action, then do it every day without excuse. The results will come, but only if the work becomes your habit. Discipline is built through small decisions. Wake up on time, move your body, focus your mind, finish what you start. These are not grand gestures. They are daily victories. And over time, they create a version of you that is strong, calm, and unshakable. Many people wait for life to change before they act. But the truth is, life changes when you act consistently. Your environment responds to your energy. Your confidence grows when your actions match your goals. A daily practice turns dreams into discipline, and discipline into results. So build your practice, protect it, keep it sacred, even on the days you don't feel like doing it, especially on those days. That's when the warrior inside you is being tested. Show up, do the work, one day at a time. That is how you rise. 6, think less, do more. Overthinking is a trap. The more you think without acting, the heavier your mind becomes. Thoughts loop, doubts grow, fear multiplies, action cuts through that noise. I didn't become great by thinking about doing. I became great by doing over and over again. You don't need to have everything figured out to move forward. In fact, most clarity comes after you take the first step. The mind loves to prepare, but preparation without movement becomes procrastination. Start. Adjust as you go. That's how real progress happens. Many people wait for the perfect answer. They analyze, plan, and hesitate, but never act. They stay stuck, not because they lack ability, but because they don't move. Action creates experience. Experience creates wisdom. But it all starts with doing. Thinking has its place, but it should not stop you from moving. If you're always in your head, you'll never build anything in the real world. The body needs to move. The spirit needs to try. Even failure teaches more than endless thinking ever will. When I trained, I didn't ask myself 100 questions. I focused, I executed, then I learned from the result. That rhythm, act, observe, improve, became my method. You cannot learn balance by reading. You learn it by stepping onto the path and moving. Your mind will try to protect you. It will tell you to slow down, to wait, to think more. But safety is not the goal. Growth is. You must train your mind to support your movement, not delay it. Let your thoughts be simple. What needs to be done? Then do it. Taking action builds confidence. Every time you move forward, no matter how small, your mind begins to trust you. You no longer question your ability. You prove it through action. You become the kind of person who gets things done. That is a powerful identity. So stop waiting for the perfect thought. Choose movement. Let action be your answer. Even if it's messy. Even if it's uncertain. The warrior's way is not to think endlessly about the path. It is to walk it. One step, then another, That is how you rise. 7. Visualize the consequences of inaction. Most people only think about what might happen if they try, but they rarely ask what will happen if they don't. If you want to move forward, don't just picture success. Picture what's at risk if you stay still. That is the fire that pushes you when motivation fades. I did not take action because I was fearless. I took action because I understood the cost of staying the same. Time does not stop. Life moves with or without you. Every day you delay, you lose a day of growth, a day of progress, a day closer to your goals or further away from them. When you hesitate, when you avoid action, you're not standing still. You're slowly slipping backward. Dreams fade. Opportunities pass. Skills weaken. Inaction is not neutral. It has a cost. The man who ignores this cost will wake up one day with nothing but regret. Think about the version of yourself 5 years from now. Will that version thank you for moving or curse you for waiting? Every action you avoid becomes a weight on your future, and that weight grows heavier over time. The pain of discipline today is nothing compared to the pain of regret tomorrow. I always asked myself, if I don't act now, what will I lose? Confidence, time, momentum? The answer was always the same: everything. Inaction takes slowly. It does not scream. It whispers. It comforts you today only to cost you everything later. Fear wants you to focus only on the risk of action, but the warrior also sees the risk of inaction. If you fear failure, fear this even more: becoming someone who never tried. That is a much deeper loss, because it is not about one moment, but an entire life unlived. You don't need fear to stop you. Hesitation already does, and hesitation leads to inaction. If you want to break that cycle, make the cost of doing nothing feel real. Picture the dreams you'll never touch, the strength you'll never build, the life you'll never live. Regret is a slow burn. It doesn't hurt all at once. It grows quietly, showing up later, when you realize what you missed, who you could have been. That pain is sharp because it's permanent. Action, even if messy, brings progress. Inaction brings only emptiness. Use that truth as fuel. When your mind wants to delay, remind yourself what is at stake. You're not just skipping a workout, you're skipping progress. You're not just putting off a decision, you're giving fear a place to live. When you see the cost clearly, movement becomes necessary. So visualize not just your goals, but what happens if you never chase them. Let that image be your reason to rise, even when you don't feel like it. Because when you see what's truly at risk, you'll stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I don't try? 8. Align action with purpose. Every action has energy, but energy without direction is wasted. You must align what you do with why you do it. Purpose gives meaning to effort. Without purpose, you're just moving. With purpose, you're building something that matters. When I trained, it was never just to throw a kick or a punch. It was to express myself honestly. That was my purpose, to become fully myself through movement. When your actions are guided by a clear reason, they become powerful. They have focus. They have depth. Purpose keeps you going when motivation fades. It reminds you why you started. When things get hard, and they will, purpose becomes your anchor. If your actions are rooted in something real, you will not break. You will endure. You will rise. Ask yourself, why am I doing this? What do I stand for? If you can't answer that, you will struggle to stay consistent. Purpose brings clarity, and with clarity comes discipline. Without it, you will chase what's easy, not what's meaningful. Many people are busy, but not all are effective. They fill their days with movement, but not direction. They confuse action with progress. But only purpose turns movement into growth. When your actions serve your deeper mission, every step becomes progress. When you align with purpose, you stop seeking approval. You no longer act to impress, you act to express. There is a difference between performing and being. Purpose brings you back to who you are and who you are becoming. It silences outside noise. Purpose also filters distraction. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every path is yours to walk. When you know your purpose, you stop saying yes to everything. You focus on the few things that matter most. That focus is where real strength is built. There were times when I was challenged to change who I was, to fit in, to be accepted, to follow someone else's path. But I refused, because I knew my purpose, and I let that purpose shape every decision I made. That's how I stayed true to myself in a world that wanted me to be someone else. Aligning your actions with purpose doesn't always feel exciting. Sometimes it's slow. Sometimes it's hard. But it's always right. When your goals are connected to your values, you don't need to force effort. It flows naturally. That alignment brings peace and power. Purpose isn't something you find once. It's something you return to often. Check in with it. Keep it close. Let it evolve as you grow. And every time you act, ask yourself, is this moving me closer to who I want to become? If the answer is yes, keep going. If not, adjust. When your actions and your purpose are aligned, you begin to feel a sense of inner strength that cannot be faked. You know you are on the right path even when it's difficult. That knowing fuels you. It helps you overcome resistance and rebuild when you fall. So don't just move. Move with meaning. Let your work come from the core of who you are. Let your steps reflect your truth. Because when your actions are aligned with your purpose, you don't just make progress, you become powerful. The difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck is action, not talent, not luck, but the choice to move, even when it's hard. Every time you take action, you weaken fear. Every time you hesitate, you feed it. So don't wait for the right time. Make now the right time. You will never rise by standing still. You grow by doing. You lead by acting. You win by showing up again and again. So move, even if it's small, even if it's scary, because the warrior who takes action is the one who shapes his own future.